What's going on, all you wild 1920s enthusiasts? It's your two favorite dancers back here for Cinephellas. I'm Logan Myers. It's my good mate over there.
And I'm Henry Hill, and we were talking about Damien Chazelle's brand new film, the box office flop, 3 hours and 9 minutes long. We're talking about Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt in Babylon.
And I'm going to bed.
Yeah, that's right. Old Damien Chazelle is back. One of my favorite directors in the business. I love La La Land. His other films he put out really has a great vibe about his movies. He really pays homage. It's always a love letter to the filmmaking, the golden era of movies, and taking us back in time, with production design, costume design. And that's exactly what we have with Babylon, running over 3 hours long, but it's really set up of all these different characters behind us. 1926, it was kind of the transition from the silent era of films into sound and movies. So kind of steering away from that into a new era of films, kind of what they touch on in this with all the characters behind it.
That's right. And you're going into the movie through the perspective of a couple actors that are one that's established in the business, and then Margot Robbie's Nellie Leroy, who's trying to break into the business and become big. And the movie starts off in a big way. There's this big, gigantic party, and it starts off with a big elephant coming in. And you get a lot of scenes that are pretty gross. You see the elephant shitting on a guy to begin with. That's what stood out for me right away. It was an elephant in the scene with the guy behind it, and the elephant just takes a dump all over him. And then it goes to this party that all these stars are having. And,
Yeah.
there's people having sex all around, people drinking, people listen to music. There's a band there, just a huge party and a really great, scene that Damien Chazelle set there. Like just a big, vibrant 20s party, like rip roaring 20s, people just getting lit, dressed to the tens. Everybody looks great and just, doing coke, partying it up, like only these big Hollywood stars can at the time. So it opens up like that. It opens up in a big way. And we meet Nellie, Margot Robbie's character. She's, letting loose basically, letting it all hang out on the dance floor. And then you have, Brad Pitt's character, Jack Conrad there. And he's just as wild and crazy too. So it's all about the excess of Hollywood, we'll say, which has been a common theme with a lot of movies that we've reviewed, a lot of movies and TV shows lately that we've reviewed, like the excess of Hollywood, the ambition and outrageousness of it all, and the lengths that some people will go to become stars.
Yeah, they do some crazy out of this world stuff. And this movie is all sex, drugs, and music. I wouldn't say rock and roll, but music in it as well. One of the characters
Yeah.
behind me, the trumpet player, was probably the one that didn't get fucked up the most. Everybody else kind of downward spiraled throughout the film, leading to some unfortunate circumstances and situations. But it really dives into all these characters during this time and how different they are. They're all really about Hollywood and the dark side of Hollywood, that we hear about. The young character Manny Torres, played by Diego Calva, he was kind of the focal point throughout the entire film and how he wants to get in the film industry and how that all ends for him towards the end of the movie. But established actor like Brad Pitt, somebody getting into the business, and Jane Lynch. I mean, there's so many Hollywood A-listers that small cameos throughout the film. This is just sprinkled with a bunch of Hollywood elites throughout the movie.
Yeah, for sure. It's very much Damon Chazelle looking at this time, looking at these different characters and what was going on at the time, where their ambitions sometimes got ahead of them and they tried to do too much. And what they all find out in the end is, we all have basically a shelf life of what you can do, especially if you're a Hollywood star. It's all about looks in Hollywood. And it's all about, who's coming up next, who's the young starlet. And you get replaced over time, the older you get. And it's hard for these people with huge egos, and they're used to being stars and being catered to, having everything handed to them after a while. That's a tough pill to swallow, and it doesn't always end well. And it doesn't end well for some of the characters in this film too. And it's sad to see. And I could see what Damien Chazelle was going for in this film. Unfortunately, the film itself it's just kind of all over the place. It doesn't feel cohesive. There isn't a single narrative. I can see what he's trying to show, but as far as being a movie and flowing well together, it just doesn't do that. It meanders a lot. It shows you some great flashes of really cool, visual set pieces, and I like some of the shots in the film and some of the the chances he took in this. But the movie itself just never clicked and never went together too well. And at 3 hours and 9 minutes, it runs on way too long. So by the time you're done with it, you feel exhausted from everything that you've seen. And it shows outrageous to Hollywood, but unfortunately, it just didn't click together as one whole piece. It felt like a bunch of big ideas thrown together, and he just couldn't edit it to get it to flow right.
Yeah, everything I loved about La La Land, he didn't bring in this film. I was really excited about this, especially with the cast, but like you said, way too freaking long, over 3 hours long. It's all over the place. It feels like kind of separate stories and movies at times, and it just doesn't flow. However, costume design, production design, all that, they'll feel and look of the movie's beautiful. Cinematography is fantastic. Score is really great. Music, cast is great. Just too much going on. Hard to keep up with it. You get lost in the shuffle. For me, at least the first hour and a half, I was kind of trying to put it all together and try to understand what was going on because there's so much going on. But it really was the downfall of the movie. You just kind of get lost in it. It's just way too long. Went on for about an hour too long, I would say. So overall, this is kind of a dud for me, much like other people said. And I was really excited for this, but unfortunately, a movie I'll never rewatch again. So with that being said, I'm going to give Damien Chazelle's Babylon, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 Margot Robbie hair pieces.
A beautiful movie. Some of the set pieces and the costume design, definitely A-list. This is great work in that regard. The movie itself, it's just not a good movie, unfortunately. Swing and a miss for Damien Chazelle. He, took a shot on it and just didn't work this time. None of the casts were bad, so to say. There weren't any bad performances. I thought Margot Robbie was really good in her performance too. You really see her downward spiral throughout the movie. It just gets worse and worse. And the scene where she pukes on the guy, she really had to do some crazy stuff in this movie. So nothing against her. And a lot of people were criticizing her work for having a couple flops movie wise in a row with Amsterdam and this, and then like Birds of Prey. But I thought she did a great job. Brad Pitt was fine. Nothing great from him. He just felt like he was kind of playing himself in a different time period. The performances weren't too bad. Just the movie itself was unfortunately not that good. So with that being said, I will give Babylon a 2.5 out of 5 Brad Pitt hair pieces. We all know that's not a hairpiece, though. He's gifted with great hair.
Yeah, it's funny. Throughout the movie, he did play himself. He had a bunch of different women in his life. Womanizer did play himself. Good old Jack. Anyways, I want to hear from all you wild 1920s enthusiasts out there. What did you like about Babylon? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite Damien Chazelle movie? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to click subscribe. Also, check out these wild jazz enthusiasts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV movie news and reviews.
So thank you for watching our review of Damien Chazelle's Babylon. We won't babble on any further. We're going to let you go now. We will be back with some great reviews of some TV shows and movies that are coming out in the weeks to come. A lot of great things are headed our way this spring. A lot of TV shows that are coming back that we've been looking forward to, and some big movies. The big blockbusters are starting off with Quantumania in a week's time. So stay tuned to this here YouTube channel, and always, check our social media pages and our website for all the latest TV movie news and reviews. So until the next Cinephellas movie review, I'm Uncle Henry Chazelle.
And I'm Uncle Logan Pitt, signing out until the next movie review.
Cheers.